Hello and welcome to Backstage 360. I'm Kelly Bennett. We are here at NAMM 2023 and we've got members of the band Crimson Coil with us. But let me just tell you a quick backstory. This lady I met last year, but what happened was your band didn't create until 2020.
Yes.
And then January 2020, and then COVID hit and we locked down. And these guys created music all through the pandemic. And we met Barbara last year at NAMM and told us all about it, but what an amazing story that you guys have now on where they have come. Barbara Tobler Valente, she got married, and this is Michael Williams, her shredder guitarist. So thank you so much for stopping by.
Oh, we're super excited to be here. Thanks for having us again.
Oh, you are so welcome. So tell us what is going on now.
Oh, so much. Well, we just, as of this week, finished mixing and mastering 5 of our originals. We have more to do, but we're super excited. And we've been playing all around San Diego, getting I don't know, noticed, I guess. We're getting bigger gigs, better gigs, and just enjoying creating mostly.
That's amazing. Bigger gigs is always where it is. Michael, tell us about your experience being with the band, and I hear that you are quite the shredder.
Thank you very much. I'm just a guy with a guitar, really. This band has been really interesting for me. I've played in bands since I was very young, 13, 14. And this band has been fantastic, mostly because of Barbara. She brings such a really dynamic element to the music. So I've composed for years and years, and this is the first time where I can really stretch chops. And so we're trying to span from the retro kind of 60s, 70s rock feel, even bring in some prog rock kind of stuff. And one of our tracks, Evil Kind, Barbara and our bass player Jim wrote, and it's very much in that Pink Floyd prog rock kind of vein. I'm really excited to get it out.
That's exciting, and I wanted to ask you a little bit about your music, if you could explain it to our listeners and viewers at home on exactly what it is that to expect when they hear you.
Oh, great question. So we were all born in the late 60s, early 70s, I'm not going to deny. I was very influenced by that time period of music, loved Pink Floyd, I loved The Doors. Always loved a singing guitar. So I was always a big Cream fan, Clapton fan. And so I had this vision after I got my son off to college. I was a single mom. I told you last year I was an opera singer, and I wanted to start this kind of rock and blues band that had a little bit of that bend, that really played off this lead guitarist that could play really well and then match my vocals, because I have a lot of skills of being able to go high and move fast. And I was very surprised when I found out what a great songwriter he was. He came to me with these incredible riffs. I started hearing some vocal lines, and I do consider myself a lyricist. He's the brilliance behind the music, the chord progressions, and I guess me with the melodies. So I would say our music is, like he said, it's kind of a progressive rock sound. I do have heavy-hitting vocals. Catchy, what would you say? And yeah, I would say retro has some retro feel to it, like he said, some Pink Floyd. But we also, our Lava Lamp song, how would you describe that song? It's
Lava Lamp, okay.
Lava Lamp, yeah. It literally, the lava lamp was invented in 1963, and you can still find them all over the place. And so when you think about it, the time periods that lava lamps have basically evolved through, it's kind of a fascinating perspective. That's really where it came from. As far as the genre goes, I think harkens back to sort of the Free and Thin Lizzy and that kind of 70s retro vibe to that song. Yeah.
And that's a really fun song because it spans the decades of all the craziness in the world, right? All the wars, but then and all the distractions, much like today. And then the whole premise of the song is we come home, we have our lava lamp, we chill out, we zone out, maybe have a drink, maybe light up, whatever.
I saw
Just
that.
to block out the world.
I saw that finger go up.
Well, it is the late 60s, right? We are
Yeah, a little
harkening back to that time.
little laugh in, maybe.
Yes, yes.
Little hippie-ish.
Yeah, I would say.
Very cool. What other songs are on your new album?
So we also have, we have a song called Just Don't Say You Love Me, which is about being in love with a narcissist, which I have done twice in my life. I think he also has. So it's just really about all those lines that you get, kind of the lack of empathy, kind of there's a line that about the reptilian aspect of it. So it's a really heavy-hitting, fun song. It's actually our first song that we wrote together. Yeah, first collaboration. We have a wonderful song called Slip Away that he wrote. I absolutely love this song. It's our newest song. It's about just going through life and being adventurous with the person that you love, knowing that someday it's going to all slip away. So to just enjoy the moment. What am I missing? Oh, ask yourself why.
Yes.
Do you want to speak to that, or do you want me to speak to ask yourself why?
Let's hear your take on it.
So my background is in jazz guitar, actually, and so Ask Yourself Why, the riff, the main riff, is based on an old jazz form. But this is where our prog rock roots kind of come in. We've smoked it up, if you will, rocked it up quite a bit. And then Barbara put over the top of it a lot of lyrics that speak to the manipulation, misinformation, disinformation that we go through in these crazy times. And it's one of those songs, I think, that's very poignant. And when people listen to it, they have kind of a visceral reaction. You know, no, that's not what I believe. No, that's not what I see. But one of the things that Barbara and I have prided ourselves on, and I think this is lost a little bit in modern music, is the sense of purpose that an artist has to expose what's going on in a society. And we're trying to do that. Evil Kind is one of those songs. Ask Yourself Why is the other.
And if I might add about Ask Yourself Why, I was back in Delaware. My father was sick. COVID hit our family. And I will tell you truthfully, I ended up fighting the hospital to get him the therapies that I wanted, and they did not budge. So I came home after losing him just a mess, and they remember this. I was just a mess. And he had this riff, and he had this whole other different idea for it. And and the lyrics literally came out of me in a matter of hours. And it is about the corruption, the big pharma mostly. And so that is, for me, that song really touches me. And then Evil Kind is about addiction, and I lost my sister and my cousin to alcoholism, so it's a very, very heavy song on that. So we've written some heavy songs, but Lava Lamp's lighthearted and Slip Away, kind of.
I wanted to ask you about your vocal range, because I know when we talked before, being an opera singer and now singing rock and prog rock and all that, how does that differentiate? I mean, obviously there's a big difference between the two, but there have been other rock musicians that have done the same, and I have one on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember her name, and she's pretty famous.
Well, Pat Benatar.
That was it. That was Pat Benatar.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes.
She was about to go off to
Yes.
Juilliard, but
Yes.
she met Neil, and her whole life changed.
So explain to me how that transition happens.
So, well, for me, I have been a student of the voice since I was in college, and I've always loved different styles of music, and I've always prided myself of being able to transition from different genres, and not a lot of opera singers can do that. So I studied the placement. You know, it's a very forward placement when you're singing rock. It's very, in your face. Opera's much more open, more deep. I do fuse some of my opera into our sound, so I will go into that deep place.
That was the other question I was going to ask you. Do you ever bring any operatic tones into your music?
Yes, we do, and the next song we have is going to have a lot of that in there. So it's just, but I will tell you, the two similar things to it is that you have to be on the breath, and you have to be able to drive that air, and it's all from your diaphragm, your gut, and so that's where my opera training really comes in handy, because it gives me the power to sing.
Now, you two met in what year?
2019, late 2019, and befriended each other, talked a little bit. It was interesting because I was playing in a couple local bands in San Diego and was looking to do something a little bit more. And my wife, Elena, then at the time was fiance, introduced us, and we got to talking about, what we thought we would like to do. And literally on the way home, I looked at Elena and I said, I can do something with that.
I was just going to ask you, did you know her range of vocalism when you met her?
No, and in fact, it wasn't until later we went to an event where she sang opera, and it was just 2 or 3 songs, and I was extremely, not just impressed, but moved. She is a fantastic mezzo-soprano, just fantastic.
Coloratura soprano.
Coloratura soprano. I
Sorry.
should know better.
That's okay. I'm the
Sorry.
highest soprano.
And so you came up with the name Crimson Coil for your band, and how did that happen?
Well, I'm a redhead, natural redhead. He's actually a natural redhead, but you don't see it anymore. He's an auburn. And so I liked red for passion. You know, that was the first thing. So I wanted something with red. So we were going over scarlet, all the different red hues that you could come up with. And we landed on crimson. And I think we had some, I can't remember. I wanted it to have some alliteration because I think that's always good. And I don't quite remember how we landed on Coil, but I do remember thinking that it would be perfect because of the coiling of the guitar, the coiling of my voice, and then just the heat, like the heat of a lava lamp, which is the coil, so the heat.
Okay.
So that's how, yeah.
And you guys created all this music, and when is it going to come out?
I'll let you.
We're actually going to drop to SoundCloud on Friday, tomorrow. So the first 5 originals, and then 2 covers that we do that kind of speak to our genre, if you will, our take on the genre are coming out then. So if you go to SoundCloud/Crimson Coil, you'll get right to us.
And do you guys have any upcoming gigs? Do you have any upcoming, what's the future like?
Well, our next one is in San Diego because we're from San Diego. It's in North Bar on the 22nd. Yay, San Diego. We have, I'm spacing what we have coming up.
So we have 4 gigs through the summer. The end of April, 2 in May, 1 in June, and 1 in July. And everything's on our website. If you just go to there, crimsoncoil.com, look at the upcoming shows page. That has everything listed.
And our hope is we really would like to hit some of the festivals that do new music. We just did one in San Diego called Bridging the Music at Brick by Brick, which is a very famous place in San Diego for original artists. So we're here, we want to network with people that can help us, connect us with those types of festivals throughout the country. I would love to go to Europe too. I used to live in Switzerland and have some contacts there. So we have some goals to go international.
Awesome. Where can people find you on social media? Obviously Crimson Coil.
Yes, we're on Instagram, Crimson Coil. We've got TikTok, Facebook.
Facebook, yeah, we're everywhere.
Facebook, yeah. Yes, and we have a website, Crimson Coil.
crimsoncoil.com.
Yep.
All right, well, we look forward to hearing more music from you. So excited to see you in concert somewhere. So if you want to check out crimsoncoil.com, please go to their website. Look at their new music that's dropping on Friday, tomorrow, but actually this is going to be viewed sometime. It's going to already be dropped, so it's already there. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, and have a great time at NAMM. And it was wonderful to catch up.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's it here from the Hilton for 2023 NAMM. We'll talk to you soon.
Can I see you look into my eyes with that intoxicated stare? I've been here many times before, and I know you don't even care. No cold, you feel nothing. Chameleon, loveless pain, soul seduction. Just don't say you love me. Just don't even try. All those times I loved you, baby, they just have to die. Just don't say you love me. That just makes me cry. And don't say you miss me, sugar. That's just one great